Let me tell you about a founder, entrepreneur that I met at a local entrepreneur meetup a few months back. And let's just call him Alex. So, Alex was telling me he had just left his corporate management job to build a service based startup. I think it was something like marketing. Super smart guy. He had really good business instincts because we had quite a bit of conversation. And I could tell, he had some really good business instincts. He had a couple of team members. One of them was there with him, had a few solid clients, it sounded like. But when we sat down and we started talking and we got deep into it and he started getting a little more vulnerable with me, I could tell that he was carrying the weight of this whole thing on his shoulders because I remember he said to me, he said, I didn't think it would feel this lonely. He was working nonstop, but always second guessing his next step. His friends and even his family didn't really understand what he was building. No one in his family had been an entrepreneur before. And he said, I feel like I'm shouting into, he used this word, the void half the time. And I remember just being taken back by that. I'm like, man, shouting into the void. Wow. It's like the abyss, right? And at that point, I related to him through the whole thing, but I really related to him when he said that because I've been there too. And had me thinking, maybe you've been there too. So in today's episode, I want to break down something powerful. Why founders grow faster when they're not doing it alone. And we're going to unpack what kind of community actually drives growth, how isolation is silently stalling your progress, and one practical way to surround yourself with people who get you and who can help you build a business that actually works. So let's go ahead and jump in. Today's episode is for you if you're grinding hard, but you're feeling like you're on an island, or maybe you have a million ideas, but you don't have anyone to validate those ideas with. Or maybe you crave people who understand your mission and people who will challenge you to keep growing. By the end of this episode, you'll walk away with a clearer understanding of why community is not optional for sustainable growth, how to find the right business community, not just another noisy chat group, and one simple step that you can take today to plug into real entrepreneur support. So let's go ahead and dive in. The first point I want to talk about is isolation creates blind spots. So when you're flying solo, you end up living in your head, and that's a dangerous place to live, a dangerous place to hang out. It's like a dangerous neighborhood because you can't see your own assumptions. You get stuck tweaking things that don't actually move the needle. You start doubting decisions because no one's helping you course correct. And I could tell that's where Alex was stuck. But when I started telling him about this community that I was building, putting together, I could see it's almost like even just by me talking about it, I could see him get a little bit lighter. And some feedback that I got from him is he said, man, if you have a place where questions can get answered and where you can talk about your launch strategy and you can get some feedback, all those things, man, if you could just do that, I think that would help a lot of people. And it was really good feedback because of course I was inputting those. And I actually told Alex this at the event that I have a success circle that mastermind that we meet once a month in person, but he was actually not from here. So he just come in and out of town. So he wasn't sure he was going to make it, which gave me even more zeal, made me even more fervent to go ahead and launch this community that I'm going to tell you about. Just stick with me. I'm going to tell you about it. So one of the things that I want to let you know is that sometimes the most powerful thing that you can do isn't to change your plan, it's change your circle. And I remember building out this business. I remember that I had to do that. And it's not that people did anything wrong. It's just that we weren't going in the same direction. And I needed people around me that could help me get to where I was going to get to in this business, to where I could serve people. I could be there for people like you. So when you've got the right people in your corner, momentum picks up. It picks up fast. And you can stop asking Google for every single answer because now you can bounce ideas off people who actually get it. You can stop trying to feel ready and start making moves. And in Driven, I use a framework that keeps our community aligned. And I think this framework is very important for keeping a community aligned, because by using the Driven framework and by having people who buy into that Driven framework to be in community together, you can tell that we are like-minded. And that framework is, I'm not going to go too deep into it because I did that in the last couple of episodes. So feel free to go back and listen to those episodes to get more of an understanding about Driven. But I will give you a little, if this is the first episode that you're hearing from me, I'll give you a little background on it. So the Driven framework is, the D stands for discipline, which is do the small, consistent things that drive big results. R is resilience, bounce back and keep pushing forward. I is inspiration, stay connected to the mission behind the grind. V is vision, get clear on where you're headed. E is empowerment, trust yourself to lead, give yourself a license to lead boldly. N is nurturing growth, take care of yourself as you scale your business. These aren't just nice words. They are pillars that everyone in my community lives by. Now, we're not always perfect at them, which is why we're a community, and it gives us even bigger need for a community. But let me tell you about what makes our community powerful, which point 3 is you can't scale alone. Building alone is fun in the beginning, but if you want to scale with less stress and fewer mistakes, and get this, and with more speed, I know, right?
Powerful.
You need the right people around you. So I know I probably just like really threw you a curveball there, because how do you grow at more speed with people? Because it's like people slow things down, right? That's where we get bureaucracy from. But when you have the right people around you, you build this momentum and you actually can grow faster. So I've never met a founder who scales sustainably in complete isolation. Have you? If you have, please send me an email or please comment. I really would love to know. But what I have seen is countless founders who hit a wall simply because they didn't have the support or strategy that they needed from a strong circle. And that's the gap that the community that I'm building, which is the Drivenneur Community, it was built to fill that gap. So before I tell you about the community, let's talk about staying driven. If you're listening to this, it means you're probably already doing the work. You've probably already have the drive. Now it's time to surround yourself with the roadmap and the relationships that keeps you going. And that's what being driven is all about. And before I tell you about the Drivenneur Community, I'm going to give a quick plug to the Driven Owner Coaching Program, because sometimes that is the first next step, is to coach with someone like me, where it's one-on-one and we can get some more clarity before you get into the community. But nevertheless, you're still not alone. So if you're looking for deeper support, personalized guidance, regular feedback, someone in your corner, someone that's going to be actively listening, someone who understands the principles of business and how to professionalize a business, and someone who can remind you of economic priorities, check out Driven Owner. It's my private coaching experience for founders ready to grow without burnout, and it's built on the owner framework. And again, not going too deep because I did that in the last episode, but the owner framework is: O is operational excellence, W is winning strategy, N is network expansion, E is exceptional customer experience, R is revenue growth. And if that sounds like what you need, then head to the link in the show notes, book a free strategy session with me. Let's talk about what it might look like for us to work together. Let's build that business that doesn't burn you out. So I want to recap a little bit right before I tell you about this awesome community. So what we talked about today is isolation isn't just lonely, it's actually a growth killer. And the right community gives you clarity, courage, and acceleration. Being driven means building with intention and with the right people. So here's your action step. I want to invite you to join the Drivenneur Community today. You are getting the first official invite right now on this episode. And I want to tell you, this is your place to connect with like-minded founders. Remember I told you, because everyone in this, before they clicked join and they actually paid for this community, they knew that it was built on the Driven framework. So they are subscribing to the Driven framework to hold them accountable, to be aligned by the framework. And so you're going to connect with like-minded founders. You'll get real coaching because I'm going to show up live in this community. I do show up live in this community, and you'll have access to me. And now it is a group session, but there's ways that you can also reach out to me because I am a member of the community, right? So you have access to me, and it's a place for you to build something meaningful without burning out because we're there with you. We're all going to pull around you. It's your entrepreneurial family, and you can join now. I created this on School. So school.com/drivenpreneur. And I know it might be hard to spell. There's a link below this episode, but it's school.com, SKOOL.com/DRIVENpreneur, Drivenpreneur. This is your moment to stop building alone and start growing together. And I want to tell you that right now, you'll be getting the founder's price, and it's definitely worth it. It's a small price. That is the price that you will have your entire lifetime for the membership of this. I will be raising the rate on this community because as you come in there, as the more things that I put in the community, it's going to be super, 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 way more valuable. But right now, joining right now, you have over $10,000 worth of value already in there. And for the small price that you pay each month, you get at least 2 calls with me in a month. So, and there's just tons of value here. So I want to invite you to go check it out. And if it's the right thing for you, I really would love to see you in the community. I want you to introduce yourself to me too as you join the community. I want to remind you that you were never meant to do this alone, and you don't have to do it alone anymore. So I really appreciate you spending this time with me. Until next time, stay clear, stay focused, stay driven.